from the magnificent conversation interview that we had with Auntie Affiong last Friday. Today, right now, yes indeed, kings and queens, we are joined by a legend in the making, the son of a certified legend, kings and queens. He goes by the name of SEUN ANIKULAPO K. My brother SEUN, welcome to GOTKUSH TV, bro. You there?
Man, thanks for having me, man. Really happy to be on the show.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
We appreciate it. Yeah, we can hear you good. We can hear you good. Permit me, my brother, because, you know, although this is not the subject today, bro, but you're here. So I have to greet you, you know what I'm saying, in the name of your father, in the name of your mother, in the name of your grandmother, Miss Funmilayo ANIKULAPO K. You know what I'm saying, because we have to honor our ancestors and those who brought you here, my brother. It's a pleasure to have you. And give thanks, yeah, for all the work and all of the sacrifices that your family has made. And thank you personally for continuing that legacy. So it's a pleasure to have you here, my brother. Give thanks, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Right.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you have to understand. I'm keeping it cool, but I'm a lifelong disciple of your father, you know. So it's levels for me right now. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's how it goes. Welcome, family. As you know, yeah. Or some of you may know. Please share this link far and wide. We've got a strike on our channel. And so basically we can only stream via our Facebook. We're gonna upload this to our YouTube later on, but yeah, we can't do it right now. Yeah, so please share the link far and wide. Everybody that's watching on Facebook right about now, please share the link. Let the people them know say SEUN KUTI there. Yeah, and we're gonna be going into endsars, end neocolonialism, end oppression. You don't know.
Yeah, imperialism in Africa.
That's right, my brother. That's right. So let's start from the beginning. By the way, we've got brother sharing for about an hour, yeah. So I'm gonna bring you in at some point. I'm gonna be sharing the link, and you can come forward and ask him your questions as well. But I'm gonna talk to him for a little piece first. We got a nice breakdown, my brother, from Auntie Affiong in terms of how everything started, yeah, in terms of this whole endsars thing, in terms of police brutality in Nigeria. I just want to get a perspective from you, yeah, in terms of how this recent energy kicked off from SEUN KUTI's perspective.
Well, I think from my perspective, which I try as much as possible to align with the people's.
Yes, sir.
I think I even have a radio show in Nigeria called The People's Perspective every Friday. You know, it's on a station called Lagos Talks, you know, 11 till 12. You know. So, you know, what has been happening, what happened, you know, has been bubbling for at least 2 decades. You know, the amount of oppression that we've experienced under this supposedly democratic dispensation since 1999, you know, simply, you know, just like, you know, our democracy is like a velvet glove on an iron fist, you know. And it's not even about, you know, I always say it's not even political anymore. It's also a social issue. Right. You know, because people have actually normalized the slave master and slave dialectic here. You know, anybody with a little bit of authority in Africa believes that that authority is to dominate. You know, yes, I mean, in our homes, we dominate our children. We don't want them to speak. I tell people, only slaves are not allowed to speak. If your child is slave in his own home, I mean, what's going on? Why are we normalizing this behavior? In Nigerian schools, you know, even your seniors have the right to begin to abuse junior students, you know, just because they are senior students. Then it goes to constituted authority in the police, the army, the soldiers. You know, for some reason, we've normalized, you know, because it's not really we the people, because we the people are actually victims. You know, because we are victims of the elitist body language that rules our society. And these toxic people also have the power to set themselves as the example of society. So everybody thinks the more you behave like these toxic people, the more successful you are. They don't know they are failing as a human being, you know. So, you know, these are our misleaders, as I call them. You know, these are our misleaders here. You know, many of them were mentored by their colonial masters. They thought that this hatred that fueled the lessons of their training to be the new leaders of Africa was a normal situation. They normalized the situation they had with their own, with the colonial masters, as the only way to, you know, train people or relate with people from a position of power. You understand? So all our elites basically believe they are white and Arabs, better than the rest of us. You know, so you find all Nigerian politicians, I'm telling you, look at their behavior. They go around with a retinue of security guards. Look at all the Nigerian celebrities. They all have armed security guards. You know, who are we afraid of? Ourselves or the people? You understand? So that image, you know, has been normalized. You know, where anybody that has a little bit must disassociate himself from they don't call them the citizens, they say the masses of the country. You know, and that is one of the main things that I'm trying to end with my own movement.
Yes, sir.
You know, we must, you know, we must end that behavior where we all feel that just because we have some change, we're suddenly better than our brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir. You know, well, you know, brother, last week, Auntie Affion was saying to us about the situation with regards to the police, that the police are very much kept separate from the rest of the people. They kept it, and the army, they kept in barracks, and oftentimes these places are poorly kept, and you know, and what's the what word is it that she used? Basically, that the living conditions are extremely poor. In that respect, and apparently, I don't know if you could confirm this to me because she wasn't able to confirm this, but the SARS aspect of the police force is paid significantly higher than the rest of the police force. Apparently, I've heard this. I don't know if you can confirm.
They make more money.
Yes, right. So in that respect, then, because people might just feel say this thing just start the other day with SARS, is this
no, I always say to people like that, I say SARS did not burn down Calcutta Republic.
Right. I understand. Enough said. And if you want to know more about that, Kings and Queens, there's a very, very big tune called Calcutta Show that will tell you everything you need to know about what Brother Shayun just said. So do check that out. But it's interesting, bro. I've been saying to people that the funny thing is, even down to the current president, if you want to know what's happening in Nigeria, you can almost listen to a song from your father in the 70s and almost get an exact report. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, very serious thing. So my brother,
because things have stagnated so bad.
Right.
Things have stagnated, you know, and even gotten worse. So
yes.
It's not as if any of those issues have ever been handled.
Yes.
Our housing never been handled.
Yes.
Our education never been handled.
Yes.
Our transportation never been handled. You know, our living conditions, welfare conditions, healthcare, you know, never been handled, you know, so.
You've been very particular, though, about making this more than just SARS, because you're saying not just end SARS, but end oppression. In general.
I think among humanity right now, I think the biggest challenge, not only for African people, but in all human societies, is to eradicate domination.
Right.
You know, because the oppressors, you know, they have become so entrenched in their ways, so assured of it, that they are putting the rest of us that are not involved in danger by trying to oppress nature as well. And nature don't speak that language. Nature won't differentiate the oppressor from the oppressed.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's why we must act now, not only to restore our respect for humanity, but also our relationship with nature.
Yes, sir.
Because all I hear now is how people are saying they have to become environmentally friendly and they are going green. You know,
yes.
And when African people are living that way, they say we are savages. You You know,
Mm-hmm.
they say we're uncivilized
Mm-hmm.
because we refuse to take more from the earth that we could replace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mad. Exactly, your brother. And so in that respect now, because how much is that message permeating the grassroots, the masses of the people? That it's not just about SARS, it is about our government in general, our housing, our lighting, our food, self-security, and all these things.
I think that's what the people are saying. It is the elites that are refusing to hear that part.
Right.
The elites only want to listen to the slogan
Right.
and ignore the mission.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
we are not talking about endsars is just a slogan, right?
Right.
A slogan that is supposed to galvanize us into a greater mission.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
So that's what the people are saying, that the government and the elites are refusing to listen. They want to make it only a police brutality issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But we're also going through educational brutality, medical brutality, banking brutality, petroleum brutality, insecurity brutality. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know? Yeah, but brother, as I was saying to you offline, we want to update the people then, because as I said, like, news on the situation has been rather quiet for the last week. So let's start from here, because there were 5 demands that were put out by the endsars people, right? And they were the immediate release of all arrested protesters, justice for all deceased victims of police brutality and appropriate compensation for their families, setting up an independent body to oversee the investigation and prosecution of all reports of police misconduct within 10 days. In line with the new Police Act, psychological evaluation and retraining to be confirmed by an independent body of all disbanded SARS officers before they can be redeployed. And finally, increase police salary so that they are adequately compensated for protecting lives and property of citizens. Now, my brother, the question really is, to what extent are these demands being acted upon by the powers that be, so to speak?
First of all, I've always been against those demands because I feel they are very aesthetic.
Right.
You know, they say a lot without doing a lot. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And the last demand is the one that even takes the cherry on the cake. Increase police welfare. You know, increasing police welfare is never going to be the reason why they become better or they're going to stop police corruption.
Yes,
sir. If
yes, sir.
better welfare meant better people, then the Nigerian politicians should be the best people in the world.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
But we all know that is not the case.
Exactly.
You know, so I feel this is disconnect, you know, because the Nigerian aspiring elites who kind of also played major roles in this protest want to stick to police reform. Because you see, police misconduct affects them too. You know, see, the Nigerian aspiring elite class, the professionals, the middle class, they've abandoned the poor people of Nigeria for over 30 years while aligning with the oppressor.
Right.
You see, no matter how many poor people's children are killed by hunger, you never hear the Nigerian professionals or middle class going on strike.
Yes, sir.
Because their children can eat. When the public schools are defunded, you know, and completely broken down, nobody protests because the poor cannot educate their children. They all send their children to private schools.
Yes.
There's no electricity. They all buy generators. You know. So we have a way, we as the Nigerian middle class and professionals, we have a way of solving our own problem and leaving the poor to their own fate. You understand? So that is another angle of this SARS protest that has caused a big disconnect.
Yes, sir.
So while they are only talking about police brutality, the people are constantly saying we are hungry, our education, our healthcare, our roads, our pensions that are being stolen. They want a bigger change.
Yes, yes. You know, that's a serious point, my brother. I mean, I'm going to ask you the broader question then. What has been happening in the last week then? Because, like I said to you, everything gone quiet. Enough people are asking for updates and they want to know what go on. So, what's been the situation on the ground in Nigeria for last week?
I'm happy that it's gone quiet on the international scene and is now a Nigerian affair and true allies affair only. You know, I think it is imperative that we understand that this is primarily something that Nigerians must handle on their own. You know, so that's what has been happening. Like in any movement, two major factions have broken out. You know, the ones that believe that they can negotiate with our oppressors for our freedom, and those that are organizing to create the political platforms to wrest power and bring change through the people.
Right.
You know. So that is basically what is going on right now.
Right.
And it might be quiet internationally, but it's very loud in the organizational front here. You know, my own organization grew by thousands in a week. People are passionate, people are involved, people want to help, people want to build something.
Right.
You know. So this is where we are. You know, this is a long battle. It is not a quick fix.
Yes,
you know, so to do things right, we need to know it's a slow and arduous process.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's no room for instant gratification here.
My brother, we're going to come back to your organization in a sec, yeah? One thing I never got the opportunity to ask Auntie Affion about last week was, I'm not sure if you're aware that there's a petition currently going around calling upon the British government to impose sanctions, on the Nigerian government. And I'll read a piece from you for the people, them, just in case people are not aware. It is entitled, Implement Sanctions Against the Nigerian Government and Officials. The government should explore using the new sanctions regime that allows individuals and entities that violate human rights around the world to be targeted, to impose sanctions on members of the Nigerian government and police force involved in any human rights abuses by the Nigerian police. There have been deeply concerning reports of a Nigerian police force unit, SARS, engaging in illegal activities and human rights abuses. And there have also been reports of police firing at protesters calling for SARS to be disbanded. Deploying sanctions would provide accountability for and be a deterrent to anyone involved in violations of human rights. Now, I'll let you know, my brother, this is an official petition to the Parliament of to the government of the UK, and as is the policy in this country, when you get 100,000 signatures, the Parliament is required by law to address this issue in Parliament, right? And currently there are 219,312 signatures on this petition. My question is to you: does the British government have the moral authority to, in your opinion, to impose sanctions on the Nigerian government for issues of police brutality?
First and foremost, I just think the whole, issue doesn't really carry as much weight as we might think it does, because whether the British government impose sanctions on Nigerian government or not, we the Nigerian people will liberate ourselves from tyranny.
Understood.
And this is the bottom. This is all that matters.
Understood.
But I understand that the battle could be fought on different fronts. But I'm not. The day hasn't come yet that I will look up to the British government.
Yes, sir.
For justice,
Yes, sir.
For an African nation or for African people.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir.
That day hasn't come yet.
You know, the issue is with that, yeah, is that because I came across this petition because noted artists, yeah, from Nigeria were sharing it and encouraging others to share it, and brothers and sisters from the Nigerian community in this country were doing the same. And so, like, I had to look out against it and say, listen, we can't be calling on these people, yeah, to be solving the problems of our brothers and sisters in Nigeria. It don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially because as far as whatever abuses are going on in Nigeria, as far as the corruption and them kind of things there, the British government is intimately involved. Yeah, in all of these
very
things.
much intimately involved. I mean,
yeah.
Very intimately. They are the orchestrators, you know.
Yes, sir.
They are major players in this game, you know. So I
yes,
mean,
sir. Yes, sir.
We African people just need to stop seeking for our oppressors to save us at the same time. You know?
Yes. You know,
but we have to take what we can, you know, with what we have.
No, I totally agree. And what would you say to your fellow artists though that are sharing this petition? Because it seems to be a thing right about now.
No, Nigerian artists don't like advice. You think, you know, they're all egotistical, you know. Yes. Everybody is a big man.
I understand. Well, we'll leave that there. But rather, let the people them know about your organization, your platform, and the work that you are trying to do.
Well, you know, for me, my platform is what we're trying to do in NRM is to create the political platform that will help the people pick the leaders among themselves, you know. That will be able to build a Nigeria that will meet our just aspirations and also fulfill the potentials of all Nigerian people. You understand? You know, this is our primary task. You know? So this is not an elitist political party where we want to form it and run it and also be the candidate, because this is something that we want to build with the people, for the people and by the people. You know? It is a platform that will represent all that want Nigeria to advance, to be great. You know, so right now we're at the movement phase and putting people in the right place, and this is you know, preparing the party, you know, preparing the people that will move in to run the party, basically.
Right.
You know, and also working on programs that we can use in the next 3 years to prepare Nigerian people to become leaders of themselves. You know, this is not an organization that wants to lead people. You know, we want to at least politicize the people enough that they know what it is about, so that when they pick you to lead them, to hold not even to lead, I say to hold positions of responsibility, you do not start taking people for fools, because people will no longer be bamboozled by the slogans and rhetoric of the capitalists and oppressors.
Yes, sir. For people that may not be aware, NRM stands for Niger Resistance Movement. Yeah, Niger Resistance Movement, and you can check that out at nigerresistance.org. You know what I'm saying?
Many people in the organization are like, oh, we shouldn't call ourselves the Niger Resistance, you know, because they might come for us and say we are a terrorist organization. I'm saying, listen, if what you are doing is for African people based on Pan-Africanist ideology, even if you call yourself cotton wool soft kittens coming with people peacefully love darlings, they will still call you a terrorist organization.
Exactly. Brothers and sisters, we've got about 30 minutes left with our brother, so I'm going to share the link here in the chat right now, and so you can click the link and come through if you got a question for brother SEUN KUTI. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is a very special interview for GOTKUSH TV, you know, so we want to just make sure that the people them that support us have the opportunity to connect with brother SEUN. You know what I mean? You're well loved in the UK, my brother SEUN, you know. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, man.
In fact, I got some history with you, you know, that you won't even know about.
UK made me, fam.
This is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, I know this, right? My brother, listen, yeah. In 2012, yeah, you came over when the Olympics were in London, yeah. and you played at the Theatre Royal in Stratford, which was Nigeria House for the World Cup, and basically a situation kicked off because you're playing, right? And I remember I remember the song you were playing. You know, I'll tell you in a second, but this was just before the name of the album's gone out my head. The album with the red, the white, and the green cover. The name's gone out my head. With
Bamileti, I think
no, not the song, the album. But it's got. Anyway, I'll tell you in a second. Right, but anyway, Shay was on the stage playing. Right. By the way, the link is in the chat, Kings and Queens. If you want to come through and talk to Shay and Kuti, do so. Yeah. So you're playing, and the people them can't dance. Right. So people obviously it's Afrobeat, right? So people get up and dance, right? So the people that said you can't dance, they got guards and security around telling people to sit down because you can't dance. It's a theatre space and that kind of thing there. Sharon is playing, right? And he's looking around and watching this, and he just stops the song and says, "Listen, if the people can't dance, I'm not playing." And man walked off the stage. It was brilliant, you know what I'm saying? But it was the right thing to do, my brother. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate that, even though we didn't miss the play.
Yeah, but they've been giving me shit all night backstage too, man.
I hear that still.
You know, they were late. They were like 2.5 hours late. You know, telling me I couldn't smoke weed in the backstage. I'm like, fuck you guys. If I was in here sniffing coke, how would you know? How would you fucking know? You wouldn't know. But I can't smoke. Man, fuck you. You know.
And it's a theater in London. You know, them things they go on a regular. Yeah, you have to know that. Yeah. By the way, the album name that I couldn't remember was
Listen, bro, I've played bigger theaters and let me smoke. Like, listen, fuck these guys.
Yeah, man. This was soon after the From Africa with Fury album came out, and the song that you were in the middle of playing was African Soldier. You know what I'm saying? It was in the middle of that song, right? And yeah, basically they kept people started to rebel because they kept telling people to sit down, and people just said, you know what, I can't be bothered, I'm getting up, right? So that was it. Yeah, but that was a good show. I saw Asha that night as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was a beautiful night. Family, if you want to come through and ask Shay and Kuti a question, you can do so right about now. The link is in the chat. I'm going to share it one more time. Let me just get that link again. I'm going to share it one more time. Now, bro, there's a big question right now. Yeah, as we speak, America is on election day, right? And there's a big debate taking place as to the extent to which music, arts, and artists should be featuring in the political arena. Now, you're all about that, yeah? Which it seems ridiculous coming from your perspective, why this is even a question. But what, from your perspective, is the importance of the artists politicizing themselves?
Well, but you know, these days, artists politicize themselves on YouTube. And that's a big problem.
Right.
You know, I think if you're going to represent your people, you have to be able to put in the time to get the knowledge.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
if you don't have the knowledge, you should just stay in your lane, you know. I think because people just go in there and model things up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, and I'm tired of artists also having to represent African people politically. You know, you don't see Jewish artists speaking up for Jewish people or white American artists being the spokesman for the Pentagon and defending American policy, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, so I think the celebrity worship is also something. I mean, a man like Trump, for example.
Yes.
As a kid growing up in Nigeria, you know, in the 90s, how did I know who Trump was? Hip-hop records.
Yes. True. It's absolutely true.
Everybody was Trump's friend.
Yeah.
So, like, didn't he say one racist word to any of you motherfuckers? Like, what the fuck? When were you going to let us know Trump was a racist, man?
Yeah. Real talk. Absolutely real talk. Real talk.
You know, so, I kind of find it a bit, you know, counterproductive for artists to represent black people. Where are our political scientists, the professors, you know, those with true Pan-Africanist knowledge of history and can understand international relations to link the past, the present, and the future, you know, and have theories that they can espouse or not, you know, I mean, well, listen to, anyway, I don't want to say something. I mean, Kanye West, though, like, you know, as soon as the white man tells us somebody is a genius, you know, I think we all believe it. This genius word is just thrown around all over the place, you know.
Yes.
You know, just act eccentric, you know, have a hit record and mix it with some eccentricity, and you know, you are a genius.
Yeah, it's real talk. So my brother, then where should the artists who want to bring political messages through their music, where should they be looking to up their knowledge? What should they be doing?
Well, first of all, the job of African artists that use their music to keep knowledge is to inspire action. You have to inspire action in your people, positive action always. You know, this is the goal of the African artist.
Right.
Not even just the African artist that wants to make political music. I don't like when they say, even music that is not, when you say my music is not political, that in itself is a political statement.
Yes, sir.
You know, so we're just copying out.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's the duty of all our artists to inspire positive action, to question toxicity in our community, you know, to destroy divisive narratives, you know, to destroy them and bring some kind of, because I don't really pray for unity among all black. If we are all united, it'd be boring. You know, but understanding.
Yes.
You know, understanding.
Yes.
Because this is what is missing, because we don't know ourselves at all. We've been so pulled apart in so many different ways that it's difficult to know self. You know, you understand? So there's no understanding, you know, amongst us, you know, and we mistake that for unity. Like, oh, look at the Europeans are so united. I'm like, what, you know, Europeans are united? I lived in England, man. I lived in Liverpool. The one side of Liverpool hates the other side of Liverpool. Then the whole of Liverpool hates Manchester, and the whole of Manchester and Liverpool hates everybody from London.
Yes.
Then the whole of England kind of hates everybody from France. Yes. But then the Scottish hate the English, and the English hate the Irish, and the Irish hate the North Irish, and the North Irish hate the Welsh, and there's this, you know, cacophony of suppressed hatred. Yes. But you know, the hatred is suppressed by understanding.
Yes, sir.
So for me, it's the understanding that is missing in our own communities. We are unwilling to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt.
I hear you.
And that is because the Europeans don't give us the benefit of the doubt. So we think that is the only appropriate way to relate with our people.
Yes, sir. Right, we got two people so far that want to interact with you, brother Shayo. So I'm gonna go in order of presence. Long time no hear your voice, my sister. Greetings, Sister Temi.
Hey, Shakara, how you doing?
I'm good, my sister. How are you?
I'm fine.
Where you there? You there England or you there Trinidad? Where you there?
No. I there Trinidad. I'm there Tobago, in fact.
All right. Well, I'd rather be there than here, but welcome.
Sister Temi, if you're in Trinidad, stay in Trinidad.
Indeed.
Go ahead, Temi.
It's funny actually. I met you. Yeah, I know. I met you actually.
This is COVID-20.
Man, I'm trying to stay out of the UK right now.
They've tweaked it now to get black people. You know, the first one didn't work well. They have to tweak it. They tweaked it.
Yes, sir.
We need to lean back on this one.
Yeah. I'm staying well back with this one. I'm telling you. Yeah, real good show. Pleasure to hear you guys reason as well. Shane, I actually met you a few years ago when you came to Trinidad. Funnily enough, I saw you perform when you came for Emancipation.
I sacked that day.
I know, but it was still a really good performance.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was really good. But I you know, obviously being of Nigerian heritage myself, I'm very interested in obviously what's been going on, and you know, you're one of the people that I obviously will follow for a far more accurate portrayal of things than maybe others. My question really to you is, like, obviously you're with, you know, on the ground and dealing with the youth. I seem to, at least I've noticed, and having spoken to my sister who's there, you know, there's a lot more of an awakening amongst the young people now, than maybe in even a decade ago, you know, and I think it does bode well. And you know, so in terms of, you know, your views going, you know, I think the next elections is 2023. Is that correct? So, you know, do you think, you know, generally with what's happening with the people, I've seen the attempts to try and divide us by tribe and all that kind of stuff, which thankfully hasn't worked. You know, what's your views in terms of 2023, the elections then, and what do you think that what do you think your party's chances are in in those forthcoming elections, given the current energy that's in the country?
Well, I think for me, the liberation process has begun.
Yeah.
Now, how long it will take and how effective it will be in 3 years, I cannot really say I'm going to judge that. But what I would say is, I know I will give my best to make sure that we are on the right track.
Yeah.
You know, that at least the people that are working with me, that I'm working with, rather, are going to do what needs to be done, no matter how painstaking that activity might be, no matter how slow, no matter how tedious.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and I feel that for me is what is necessary. Secondly, we must keep the energy up. When I say keep the energy up, I say we must now begin to interact with the people. These 3 years basically is an opportunity for the Nigerian middle class and professionals to rebuild that broken bridge with the people. For too long have we aligned with the people, with the oppressor. And I said that before, you know, because we are the bankers that they launder the money through. We are the soldiers, we are the police, we are the members of the ministry that wreck the education, we are the civil service. You know, it is through the middle class and the professionals of this country that oppression gets to the people. So when the people will fight their oppressor, they will come through us. Except we now change our ways and align, or rather realign with our people. You know,
absolutely.
And I think that is what is necessary now. This is the journey we must take. This is the dialogue we must have as humans. It's difficult for, you know, the oppressor to have a dialogue with us because they dehumanize us by oppressing us. You know, so you see Buhari is ready to fly as sick as he is, gangly and dying. He's ready to fly 10,000 miles to Switzerland and England to do meetings with white people, but we have to beg him to just not to hold a town hall meeting.
I don't even know the last time I saw him make an appearance
just to come on TV, speak to us. We have to beg. You understand? So this we must reclaim our humanity in form of citizenship. Too long have we allowed the term masses to be normalized. What is masses? We are the citizens of this country, both in both politically and socially. We are the citizens of this country. I must reclaim the responsibility and the power of citizenship. See, we must no longer look to the oppressors to bestow upon us that which is already ours. That's why I really don't understand why we're going to sit on panels.
I totally understand.
I said to my people, I said, the Nigerian people, we have stopped police brutality. For 2 weeks, every police station that killed someone in the mainland got burned down. And I believe that there's nowhere in this Lagos anymore that a policeman will start abusing people, or in Nigeria, you know, will start abusing people, and people will just stand by and watch.
Exactly.
We're going to approach, we're going to ask you what's going on.
Because basically they've been galvanized now. They know exactly.
We are going to reclaim our humanity. That's what I'm saying. It is obvious. Our humanity is our responsibility.
Yes.
You know, so that for me is what the crux of the matter is. That's why I say I don't like saying endsars. I believe that is the slogan. The mission is to end oppression and domination in our communities and society at large.
Thank you very much for that.
So that for me is the goal. As we build that, as much as we are able to understand that, and because for me, when they say we have, tribal differences and all that, Nigerians don't like each other, I say it's a lie. Until we develop this country, until we've done something great together, and then after doing it, we say, no, I don't like you. That's when I know that Nigerians truly don't like each other. Because so far, our elites have refused to develop this nation. And it's only through national development will we develop a national culture.
Yes.
So we have not interacted. We don't even really know each other.
Exactly.
So they control the narrative about us to us, to sow division. So these are the things that we must tackle. Because when people, you hear a lot of people say, I want Nigeria to divide. I'm like, you want the Igbo man to go, but you don't want Coca-Cola to go. you want the Hausa man to go, but you don't want Shell to go.
You know what? You know what? Sorry, Temi. Do you know what? Yeah, that reminds me of a question. Yeah, because a lot of this situation started, Brother Shane, from my understanding. Yeah, with the shooting of a brother from the Delta region. Yeah, from your perspective. Yeah, what is the role of the situation regarding the oil, Chevron, Shell, ExxonMobil, and the rest, and how it contributes to this situation right now?
They are imperialists. They are imperial organizations that extract and exploit, extract our resources and exploit our labor. There's no other explanations for them. Come and look at the destruction to our natural environment. You realize the hypocrisy, of Western leaders when you talk about how they care about the environment. When they allow their multinationals to come to our countries and ruin all our natural environment and destroy the equilibrium of the natural habitats, wildlife and fauna and flora in the whole of the Niger Delta area. People can't even fish anymore.
Yeah, absolutely terrible.
Yes, sir. Tell me, feel free to stay there.
Kidding. I went to Niger Delta. I went to Bayelsa State, right? And there was no body of water I saw that was not mixed with oil. None, nowhere. Even the gutters of the city had crude oil in it, like stained.
Wow.
Madness. Tell me, stay there. Yeah, I do want to get to the other brothers on the panel though, before Brother Shane has to depart from us. But feel free to stay there if you want to. Brother M.A. Bunia. I'm liking these name variations in the brother M.A. I'm waiting until you settle on one, Wait till you settle on one, you know what I mean? But it sounds good. It sounds good, Go on, true.
I'm gonna change the MA as well to something. Watch out.
Yes, sir. When you're ready, got you.
Greetings, everybody. Greetings, SEUN.
Hello, brother. How you doing?
Yes, my brother. I'm very good. I've got a full belly thanks to my wife, so I'm happy. And greetings, Temi, as well, and Aaron Matele. So, just picking up off the back of one thing that Temi said, and that something that I said in the chat. She was talking about the awakening of the young people in Nigeria, and obviously, and it's been well publicized that a lot of that awakening has come through social media and the use of camera phones and whatnot. You just said, well, you were just talking about your political party. I'm wondering, how will you balance the need to utilize kind of existing conventions of propaganda with the deprogramming of the people to no longer be fooled by those conventions? Does that make sense?
Well, I think the best way to do that is to become more, how do I put it? More pro people. What do I mean? I mean, many of the programs that we do these days is tainted with elitism in the sense that we pick our space to host this event and we expect the people to come to the message. Disregarding their everyday routine, whatever they have to do in their life, we just want to do our adverts and we expect the people to drop everything they have to do in their life and come and listen to we privileged pricks give them ideas. I think we now have to reverse that. We need to work as much as we can to go to them, in groups, approach neighborhoods, talk to our people, start with our neighborhoods. From our neighborhood, build alliances with other neighborhoods, and start this conversation between us and the people, again, but in their own turf, where they are comfortable. Bring food, bring drinks. You know what our people like? Bring some music. Yeah, we're African people. We're the original socialists. Yeah, man.
Facts.
That's why they do a lot to infiltrate and corrupt our social spaces. So the fact that African people are always in the nightclubs, this is not because we are trifling. We're always partying at night, even in the African villages. This is what we do. So they co-opt it, capitalize on it, monetize it, then they corrupt it. So it's no longer a space where we share our, divine brotherhood and sisterhood. It becomes a place where we compete, with capitalist material, who is more successful in the white man's game, looking down on one another, they make sure that our spirit, because it would be a great thing if we went to the club every night and discuss revolutionary strategy, why there's music in the background. I mean,
sir.
Yeah, that's the dream right there.
We do that every night.
Shayon, one thing that I wish I was old enough to experience for a week was the shrine under Fela. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
My parents told me about that. You know what I mean? I can only imagine. But my parents
when I hear the reports, right? When I hear the reports,
Shabarangs came to Kalakuta Republic,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Smoked one joint and passed out on the floor.
Shabba, you know what I mean? Yeah, Shabba. Now, what it is, right, is that I think this is something that he mastered. It's something that we can learn from, because the shrine was much a space for music, as it was political education, as it was for enjoyment, as it was for protest, as it was for organizing, as it was for spiritual, for ritual. You know what I'm saying? So it's a model that we have to look at properly, and develop. Do you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a model that we have to look at properly.
That's like I said before. Where I said members of my group were afraid that Nigerian resistance movement to make us. Fela only called this club the Shrine. This is the most harmless name ever. He got attacked over 1,000 times.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
But this is because the Shrine was Pan-Africanist.
Yes, sir.
The narrative of the Shrine went against the narrative of the elites and the states.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that is the difference between maybe me and a Jay-Z. It's not talent, because my narrative just goes against the norm.
Yes, sir.
You won't listen to my album and go and buy Gucci.
Real talk.
This is my album. I want to go to Gucci store. I don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, and listen, I want to get to Brother Aaron Monsele before Brother Shane has to depart us. So go on to Brother Aaron Monsele.
You know what? I've got nothing to add. I'm just here, just taking in the moment. You get me?
You're just here to put your good-looking face on the screen, right?
I'm here with the great SEUN KUTI. That's what I'm here with.
We're all great, man. We're all great. This is another awakening I learned as well. Everybody is put here to make history.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
absolutely.
And the only reason you are put in school, the only thing they put us through this school, because our oppressors have never done anything good for us. So why put us through this school shit? Is to remove our ability to be historical, to surrender that ability to some unknown forces. Whereas we are the force of change. Imagine if kids were graded by cooperation and love and happiness, and being themselves. Imagine if those were grades. The best lover in class, the best, happiest student, the most cooperative, these were the, but no, all these toxic attitudes are validated to children from a young age, hide your work, male, he's the best, you are the worst,
competition.
Nothing.
Exactly, surrendering yourself to your teacher, you You don't even tell them what you want to learn. They already know what you need to learn. And if you don't learn it well, then you are dumb.
Yeah. Spot on.
You know, so
My brother,
it's a whole game. You know.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
it's to stifle critical thinking, isn't it? And to stifle, like you say, cooperative, practices.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of bravery, I think, in this world today to stand up to many of these accepted facts.
Absolutely. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's a lot of pressure to conform in every way. You know what I mean? And even if you just veer off the course,
everybody has a problem with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though it's exactly what they are thinking on the inside too.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Brother Shayon, yeah? Based upon the Niger Resistance manifesto, yeah? And under education, it says the education curriculum should also be thoroughly revised to ensure it fits the needs of students locally rather than being a copycat version of Western education. Local languages should be emphasized and taught, and African history should be a core subject up to secondary school, right? Now, that might sound strange to people, that for some people anyway, that a country in Africa doesn't teach African history, right? You know what I'm saying? And doesn't use African languages. This might sound very strange, yeah? So explain this, Brother Shayon. How comes it you need to have a manifesto?
It's a trick your mind plays on you when you are colonized.
Right.
See, the enslaved was lucky in the sense that he is different from his oppressor. His immediate primary direct oppressor.
Yes.
So he knows that his oppressor's school is his oppressor's school.
Right.
So we have to create African schools for our kids.
Right. Yes, sir.
Like you see in Africa, since there were black people there, everybody believed the schools are African schools, so there are no African schools created,
Yes.
Or anything. This is a school for African people, and everybody just goes there and gets brainwashed.
Yes.
Yeah,
man, that's amazing. But having said that, though, my brother, it's the same in every majority black nation, even in the diaspora, even in the Caribbean.
Of course,
Caribbean
it's one of the greatest tricks that the colonialists pulled,
Yes, sir. It's mad. I mean,
I'm able to convince.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
They were able to convince their stooges that they replaced themselves with.
Yes.
That they had to perpetuate that spirit.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I talk about, that oppressor spirit, because right from time, there has been certain Africans willing to sell other Africans for things.
Yes, sir.
This group of Africans have always been mesmerized. They were in the minority, they were controlled in our natural state because their behavior was not validated by the larger society.
Yeah.
So they were weak. They were not. But as soon as they came in contact with Europeans, that tendency now found validation from without.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is why many
and power behind it too.
Many of the professions in the world are anti-African. Because in African societies, everybody was their own lawyer.
Yes, sir.
You never needed accountants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They were guards, but no policemen. Everybody was the security. And everybody was a doctor. Everybody knew the herbs. So these new professions came into being, and this group of people came from that first contact. And right up till now, they are the same people due to their continuing relationship that have been handed power in Africa.
Yeah.
And they still continue that spirit today. Maybe they don't sell our physical bodies, but by selling our resources and depriving the people of the opportunities that they need to be humans again, sell their future. It's abstract. They sell their time. Abstract, but it still has physical effects. And they still exchange it for only things. They are masters of industry.
Yes, sir.
Dangote is the richest black man in the world. But hey, is the cement the best cement in the world? Is he in the top 100?
Yes, sir.
Let's know, man. So they don't make anything. They're not like a Bill Gates that can say, "Oh, I've added Microsoft to my country." Not saying Bill Gates is not an ass. Pardon my French.
No, seriously.
But you know, at least you can see Microsoft. In our own end, they just extract, just same as the colonialists did. Extract our labor, extract our resources, and exchange it for fiat, which they only used to buy things. And you know, build houses and buy things, you know. It used to be gin and gunpowder and textile and spices. Now it's Gucci and Rolls Royces and private jets.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You just think they are mesmerized.
It's mad. It's an issue that we got to change. You know?
People need to rise up and, you know, snap them out of it. You know, they've been smack across the head for 350 years now.
That's right. Seriously. So part of my family is from an island called Jamaica, and them say we have a first national hero named Marcus Garvey, but he's not taught in the curriculum. Yeah, from nursery all the way to university, he's not taught on the curriculum, but he's the first national hero of the country.
Exactly.
and I'm sure the same thing is the case in Trinidad. Timmy.
Yeah. I mean, it's colonial education again. It's you know, that's the curriculum. You're not going to be learning about those kind of heroes at all. You'll learn about Columbus before you'll learn about any of
the heroes. You need to Cecil Rhodes, man. You need to learn about the real heroes.
Mongo Park.
This great conquerors, this man, this civilized man that just went around killing other men all over the world. You know.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you know, I'm not like. They don't come and fight directly, like, oh, I'm coming for war. You know, they come like, oh, I'm your friend. Hey, I got you.
Yeah.
My brother Shane, I know you. Sorry, God.
I have to go before I go. You know, like, and they have the audacity to say they are good Christians.
Yes, sir.
You know, when it was acting like good Christians, welcoming strangers, feeding them, acting like fucking Christ, they said we're naive.
Yeah.
Then, you know. Then they bring Christ as a reason to slaughter us and take our land. Like, oh, they're teaching us to be Christians. Motherfuckers! When we met you, we were Christians, motherfuckers.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie here. Brother Sheun has the funniest interpretation of the story of Moses that I've ever come across. Brother Sheun said, this man, he said he was educated among Africans, right? And it was only when he killed the African, God said, now you are worthy to be a prophet.
It's always baffled me. The timing of God. Yes. The biblical God is the most racist motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, like, Moses was an African prince for 21 years. God did appear to him and say, you know, listen, the Pharaoh is your dad, you know, the Pharaoh is your bro. Go talk to them, you know, tell them what's going on. Let's find a peaceful way to solve this. Use your influence as an African prince to solve this shit.
To solve the problem.
This God, he works in mysterious ways. You don't do that. He waits till this guy murders 2 Africans. Not one.
He works in mysterious ways.
And you know the funniest part is, then he went on Mount Sinai to bring down the rules of God that said, "Thou shalt not kill." If this was
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
If this was such a new rule, really, that this was, why did he run away from Egypt? At least, you know, that's what Professor Ben said. Ben Yohanan, you know.
Yes.
It means at least we Africans knew that. At least we knew that shit.
Yes. Most definitely. But brother, I know you gotta go. So we're gonna wrap up. Thank you for those who came on. Man. Yeah, what's it called? Tell me, thank you very much.
I just want to ask: is there any way of keeping in contact with you, or is it just every now and then you pop up?
Nah, he's on social media. I know that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm Big Bird Kuti on Instagram, and then I'm SEUN KUTI, ANIKULAPO K on Facebook.
Yes,
Okay.
All right, but
SEUN KUTI on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Temi, Eramosele, Emma, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you for
having me,
having us.
guys.
Shaka, just before you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, I sent you those sci-fi stuff. Don't let me down, brother.
Wait, where did you send it? All right, let's talk about this offline, bro. Hop me up online and go live on. Yeah. We are dealing.
Put you on blast, bro.
We are dealing.
Man's trying to have witnesses.
Listen,
That's why you're obviously,
there's
you're
all the
obviously-
witnesses around. I need
you're
all the
obviously slick with. Man's trying to have witnesses.
Yo, all I'm saying is there better not be no Star Trek nonsense. That's all I'm saying.
Hey.
No,
Hey,
it's
anyway, listen.
Shane is not time for that. He's off.
It's all good.
All
I was
right,
gonna
guys.
ask you one more question. But yeah, tell me, good to hear your voices.
Yeah, take care.
Show us some sunshine, you know? Show us some
Yeah,
sunshine.
I'll try, mate. But boy,
You know what I mean?
there, though, still. All right,
Yes,
then. Take care.
Yes, family. Peace and blessings, yeah?
All right, take care.
Yo, kings and queens, that has been GOTKUSH TV speaking to brother